Happy Friday! Welcome to the Daily Huddle with me, Life Coach Franzani, where we are committed to having it all: career, family, and fun. And we treat the pursuit of that balance like a job. We all say things like, I want to have a successful career, I want to have a happy marriage, I want to raise good kids. And then we lie to ourselves in one of two ways. We either say, I'll deal with that later, or after this, or after that, that will become your priority. Or we believe that these platitudes will materialize magically because we put it out into the universe. But not here, my friend. You and I do not subscribe to bumper sticker personal development. No. Here we aspire to reach C-suite levels of success in our lives, personal success, through three things: precise clarity, an expanded mindset, and consistent action. Clarity, mindset, action. We don't leave our careers, our relationships, our legacies, or anything up to chance. We live intentionally. So let's jump in. Every week we have a theme, and every day we discuss a different topic. This week's theme has been creating a new normal now that we're facing COVID. So we've looked at our goals, routines, habits, and events from this season, and we've 1, assessed the damage, 2, grieved the losses, and then we've taken the first step in resetting and reconfiguring those by uncovering our motivation. And today we're going to use the motivation you uncovered to fuel your new goals, habits, routines, and events. So now that you know your deeper why and the elements that you know, and the most important elements of that deeper why, you can work backwards to achieve that goal or reconfigure or reassess that goal. I call it reverse engineering. Before I go into an example, I think it's worth mentioning that COVID really changed a lot of things. And if when you're looking at the goals, routines, habits, and events that you had going on in this season, and you're thinking, this doesn't even matter to me anymore, this is a great time to shed them. If when you did the why is this important to me exercise and that fell flat for you, then maybe it doesn't matter to you, and maybe it's not important to you, and that's okay. But for the things that still are important, you need to figure out, now that you know your deeper why and the elements of it, is that the only way to achieve that deeper why? If so, how can you create a new plan that includes the elements that matter the most? And if not, how else can you accomplish that goal, including those elements that matter? So I think the best way to talk through that is to give an example. So I'm going to give an example on each category. So a goal for me was my half marathon at the end of the year for my birthday. And my deeper why around that was that I've committed to getting into the best shape of my life over the next year for my family. And the elements I loved around this half marathon for my birthday, traveling to Texas, was the pomp and circumstance, the celebration, and the community. So, is that the only way to achieve? Is the half marathon the only way to achieve my deeper why? No, not in the grand scheme of things, but to me it is. I read somewhere that half marathons were best for your overall health, and that stuck with me. I don't need to check the veracity of it. I've just decided that it is. So between now and next year, I want to run a half marathon, right? And the pomp and circumstance, and the community and all of that, does it have to be this year? And that answer to me was also yes. So how do I create the pomp and circumstance, celebration, and community that I loved when I first committed now? And what I've decided to do is to, whether or not we're allowed to run marathons by the end of this year, which I doubt we'll be able to, I'm gonna run 13.1 miles the weekend of my birthday and have my favorite people waiting at the finish line. We'll have a party. We'll celebrate. It'll be my it'll be my half marathon, which I actually even like the sound of that better because I'm just vain enough to be into it. So that is how I'm recreating the goal of my half marathon through all of this. So next, an event. So we had planned before the beginning of this year to have a party for our 5-year anniversary at our favorite French restaurant. We were going to renew our vows on the dock, and have all of our favorite people who were local to celebrate. So the deeper why was really recommitting my taking a day to remind myself of how special my love is for my husband in our relationship was my deeper why. And the elements I loved was the family, the party, and honestly, I'd already bought a dress, and it was a great, beautiful springtime dress. So a seasonal dress was part of the elements that mattered to me. So was the 5-year wedding anniversary party the only way to reach my deeper why? No, the party was not. So how else did I accomplish that? Well, what we did was we took our tripod, our camera, and we went and renewed our vows in front of the museum we got married at, and how we included friends and family in celebration is we FaceTimed, we took a lot of pictures, we visited people that day, and we really celebrated our love that day. And it was really fun to be walking around in a white dress. People were super excited to ask me if we had just gotten married, and so that's how we reconfigured our 5-year wedding anniversary based on the elements that were most important to me. Next, habits. So nutrition. I was intermittent fasting very well before all of this, and then COVID happened, and it was an excuse to eat all the Oreos, and I was like, no, too many Oreos. So this was an example of my deeper why, best shape of my life, and the element that I really appreciate about intermittent fasting is that I believe with nutrition and health, the thing that works is the best thing for you is the thing that you'll do, and intermittent fasting works for me. It's not easy, but it's easier than some of the other things that I've tried to consistently keep up to keep nutrition top of mind. So this was just a recommitting. When I realized that, it was this is the thing you know how to do. It's going to suck for the first week like most things do, and then you get used to it. And so it was just a recommitting to that goal once I evaluated the deeper why, and it really did look exactly the same. I just needed to remember and really focus on why that was important to me. So, and then finally, routines. So I like to stick to a strict schedule. My deeper why is because I have a huge ideal for freedom, and to me, freedom comes through discipline. And the elements I like about a strict routine is that it clears up my mental space, so I can focus on what I'm doing and really focus when I need to have fun. And this was a little bit interesting when I was thinking about how hard it was for me to stick to my strict schedule and why it was that I was sucking and doing a terrible job. And it really turned out that I wasn't being strict around fun. I wasn't usually that just happened, whether it was through date nights, whether it was through seeing friends or in-person events or whatever, happy hours, but those weren't happening anymore, at least not the way they were happening before. So I needed to create a strict time around fun, puzzles, reading, all of those things. It got to a point where it felt like I could and should be working all the time. So I just needed to take a look at that. And now that I know I'm going to have fun and that there are rewards packed into my day and breaks, sticking to my strict schedule doesn't feel so burdensome, because I think what I started to feel was it was never ending. And so now I have other things to look forward to other than, all of the wonderful things I do for work. So ask yourself, is the goal, routine, habit, or event that was upended in this time the only way to accomplish your deeper why? And how can you stick to your old plan or create a new plan that incorporates your most important elements? So if you're ready to commit to the accountability you need to level up, I'm accepting 15 one-on-one clients in my 6-month coaching program to reverse engineer the balanced life that keeps you up at night. And if you're ready to end 2020 strong, go ahead and grab your grab your free discovery call to see if you're a fit for me and my program. And because of these, wait for it, we love this, the new normal and unprecedented times, I'm offering 25% off of my one-on-one program, so you don't want to miss that. Well, thank you for being here. Take the time to work through these steps to make sure that you're coming out of, or you're creating a new normal that you're confident with and that you're happy with, and that you know will put you in the direction of your dreams. So give yourself a wonderful day, and I'll see you on the next Daily Huddle.